Hey guys, so I am really excited for today's video. I am going to be talking about how I make money here on YouTube. I put out on my Instagram stories like 2 calls for questions. One was just a general Q&A and one was, if you guys had any questions regarding YouTube. The overwhelming majority of questions that I got was about money related, how much money I make, how do I make money on YouTube, questions like that. So I just wanted to make one video sort of addressing all of that. Of course, I'm not going to be telling you exactly how much I make here on YouTube, but I am going to be telling you about how much some of my videos made, how much revenue they've generated so far. I will tell you that I do YouTube full time. I used to work in corporate America. I used to be an independent contractor, with a 1099. I used to be a design director for a yarn company, and I will tell you that I make more money doing YouTube now than I have in any of those other jobs. So YouTube has been good for me. It has been a viable career for me, and I wanted to make this video and talk to anyone out there who is not only just, curious about how much money I make. There's a lot of just very curious, very nosy people out there. I totally get it, aren't we all? But I wanted to make this video specifically for anyone out there who's thinking about doing YouTube, where doing YouTube full-time or getting into YouTube is an option, but maybe you're a little bit scared because, can I make a living doing this? And I'm here to say, yes, you can do YouTube full-time. I mean, I think I'm kind of stating the obvious too. There are a lot of full-time YouTubers out there. So obviously this is a very viable career, and I think it's becoming more and more viable. But I just wanted to share my experience with you and to encourage you, if you are interested and you're just like, you're just not sure, I say do it, because it is something that you can do. I mean, if I can do it, if I can make this my career, if I can make good money doing YouTube, you definitely can. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my own background. I was working full-time as a knitwear designer up until last June. So it has been almost a year that I've been doing YouTube full-time. Now, I left that job because there were some changes going on or whatever, and it just felt like the right time for me to exit. So it wasn't exactly planned, and it wasn't driven by YouTube either. It wasn't like I had gotten to a point in my income or, my subscriber count or anything like that on YouTube where I felt comfortable leaving my full-time job. And in fact, I didn't really feel comfortable leaving my full-time job at that point. I'm glad that I did now. Now looking back, I'm really glad that I was able to put all of my attention into my YouTube channel because it has grown, and I'm so excited by its growth. And I want to thank you guys for subscribing and watching me and my content. So I really, really appreciate it. But looking back, that was definitely kind of a scary change. I mean, I knew that I could do YouTube for, a few months, and if it just completely floundered, I could get back into what I was doing before the knitwear design. But my growth on YouTube was very, very steady. So at that point, I had not hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I was probably getting, I want to say, somewhere between 500 and 700,000 views on my channel per month. And in terms of subscribers at that point, I had maybe 70 or 80,000. I really can't remember. I could probably look it up, but around there. And that's not even really too important of a point. But even with those numbers, I didn't feel that comfortable leaving my full-time job. So just to give you a little perspective, and I know that that is a completely different number from pretty much anyone else who has felt comfortable kind of leaving their full-time job or doing YouTube full-time or considering it a full-time gig. And of course, everyone's financial position is completely different. So that's just to give you a little bit, again, a little bit of perspective on my path. I think what most people are most interested about in terms of making money on YouTube is the money that you actually make from YouTube, through Google, through YouTube, through Adsense. And that's when you become a partner with Google, and you can put ads up on your videos and things like that. When I joined YouTube back in 2016 is when I first started posting videos, May of 2016. Anyone could be part of like the YouTube partner program. I still had to apply and I still had to be accepted, but they were taking pretty much everyone. And I know this has changed over the life of YouTube. And currently, as I understand it, you need to have like a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of hours watched on YouTube. And I believe it's something like you need at least 1,000 subscribers and something like 4,000 hours of watch time on YouTube, something like that. All this information is on YouTube, and if I can find like a direct link to this information, I will leave it down below in my description box. So that's the first hurdle you kind of have to get through. So if there is any hesitation on your part in starting your YouTube channel, just do it, just start, because every day you don't get started on YouTube is another day you're away from actually monetizing, being able to monetize or put ads onto your video. And that's all monetization is putting ads onto your videos. And once you are a partner with YouTube and once you are able to monetize your videos, you are able to always have an ad before your video, despite the length of time of your video. If your video is less than 10 minutes long, you can put an ad after your video. If it's longer than 10 minutes, then you can put what they call mid-roll ads into your video, which is basically ads in your video. So that's when you're watching a video and then all of a sudden an ad pops up. That's a mid-roll ad. So you can put ads into your video if your video is 10 minutes or longer. The more ads you put into your video, the more money your video most likely will make. And of course, people watching those ads will determine how much money you make as well. So there are ads, most of the ads actually that are put onto our videos are skippable. So they have that skip ad thing. And if someone hits that like right away, I don't think you make any money, or like less than a cent. It is very, very small potatoes. So the longer someone watches an ad, the more money you will make off of it. And we're talking pennies, literally pennies. So it's essentially how you make money off of ads, is just views and viewership. So it has absolutely zero to do with your subscriber count. You could have 1 million subscribers on your channel, but if no one watches your videos, you will not make any money. And then how much money you make off of your ads will depend on the day that you put it up, the day that the person is watching. The month is also very important. Videos that play ads during the month of December generally will make more money than the rest of the year. It's when advertisers just do really, really big pushes and are willing to pay more for ad space because it's the holiday season and people are shopping more and they really want to monetize on that. So generally videos that play in December will make more, and then it fluctuates all year round. And there are things called adpocalypse, which will happen if something just happens on YouTube or in the landscape of this world, like the pandemic that we're experiencing right now. When it first really became like a global pandemic back in like end of February, March ad rates went down drastically. And I spoke to a lot of other YouTube creators, and we'd be getting twice as many views, but our ad revenue was down from the month previous. So it really depends on what's going on. It isn't all based on views. It's not like if you get 1 million views on this video and 1 million views on this video, they're going to make exactly the same. All right, now I just wanted to share some numbers with you. So I'm gonna look up exactly how much revenue 2 videos brought in that have very similar view count. So the first one is my luxury makeup collection part 2, and that has generated 25,924 views. And my estimated revenue for that is $183.92. And then I just want to compare it to my Dior Color Games Summer Collection 2020, which got 25,994 views. So again, very close. I think there's about a 60 some odd view difference. And that video has generated $98.50. So almost $100 difference for 2 videos that pretty much have the same amount of views. So it does make it very challenging to try and project how much money you're going to be making in ad revenue through YouTube. But it does become more and more consistent the more consistently you put out content. So if I know I've been consistent and I've consistently put out videos at like the same pace that I'm used to month after month, it's not going to fluctuate too much. Unless, of course, something like those adpocalypse things happen. Those thankfully are rare, but they come fast and they come really hard. But one of the best things about being a YouTuber is usually it's a one-person show, so you can pivot really quickly. And when I saw my revenue really start to tank when the pandemic hit, I thought, all right, I just have to put out more content. If I put out more content, hopefully I can at least maintain the revenue that I was making. And that's what happened. I started to put out a video almost daily, like in the month of March. And I started to taper back a little bit in April. I skipped a few days here and there, but I was able to kind of maintain my revenue by putting out almost a third more content. And yeah, that kind of sucks that I had to kind of work, like twice as hard to make the same amount of money, but at least it was in my control. And that is definitely one of my favorite things when it comes to working for yourself, doing YouTube, working from home, all those sorts of things, is that you can react very, very quickly. And it's kind of in your control. So my AdSense revenue, which, it has steadily been growing. That has been the pattern over the past year. There's still some months where it dips down or whatever, whether I didn't put up as much content as I did the month previous, or if something like Apocalypse happens, or like in December, I did really, really well because I did Mishmas. I posted every single day in the month of December, and that is a big, ad draw. So I will share with you that my income from YouTube AdSense makes up about 25% of my total income. And that leads me to my next very important point when it comes to making money on YouTube, is that you definitely want to diversify. You don't want to only be making money through AdSense on YouTube because of the things I just mentioned, like Adpocalypse. It may be completely out of your control. You may not be able to react to like market conditions like that. You may not be able to just say, like I did, oh, I'm just going to put up a video every single day now. You may have other things going on in your life that prohibit you from that. And then all of a sudden your income for that month is halved. And so what you want to do is make sure you are getting money from elsewhere. And again, I'm sharing with you my experience, but I know almost every other YouTuber out there, they have diversified their income, or YouTube isn't like their main platform. It's supporting something else. So there are people who do talks, presentations, they're paid for that. They hold classes, they have online classes, they have online downloads, things like that. I don't make money that way, but I do follow a lot of YouTubers who do that, and that is like the bulk of their income. So for me, the two other income streams that I have in this beauty space is affiliate links and sponsorships. So I'm going to start with affiliate links. Affiliate links are links basically that I can use to share with you that I will make a commission off of if you purchase anything through that link. So if I talk about something on my channel, let's say a powder, and I link to it, if you guys click on that link and you purchase that powder or anything during that shopping trip, I will make a commission off of that. It is generally pretty small, but it is something, and it does add up, and it's where I make the bulk of my money. So I generally use two companies to create my affiliate links through. One is Reward Style, and the second one is Magic Links. There is a third one that I use. It's really very, very small. It's called Share a Sale, but there are all these companies out there, and what they do is they partner with companies like Sephora, like Ulta. They partner with these companies, and then what they do is they have you, the influencer, sign up with these companies like Reward Style and Magic Links, and they approve you or not approve you, but there is an approval process. And then once you're in, you can create affiliate links to any of the retailers that they've partnered with. And I know between Reward Style and Magic Links, there are thousands of retailers that they partner with. So I always find it very, very curious when viewers always question the YouTuber's integrity because they'll point out, oh, well, they're using an affiliate link. We can pretty much link to anything and everywhere on the internet. So it makes absolutely no sense for us to favor one over the other. If you use our link, we're going to make a small commission off of it. So if you're just starting out, I would say post consistently. I think that that is probably one of the bigger criteria that both Magic Links and Reward Style look for when they approve you. I don't think necessarily that your subscriber count makes a huge deal. I think you have to have a bit of a following, but I've heard of some, larger channels not getting approved because they've told that creator that they just don't post consistently. So you want to have a very consistent, strong presence on YouTube if you want to sign up for either of these companies. Another reason why you may want to sign up with one of these affiliate companies, I don't know if there's a proper name for them, but I always call them my affiliate companies, Reward Style and Magic Links and Share a Sale, is that because they work directly with those companies will come to them and ask them who are some of your stronger influencers, who has been generating the most clicks, and you can get sponsorships through reward style and magic links. And I'll talk about sponsorships in just a second. But that's another reason why you may want to create a relationship with reward style and with magic links. So in terms of the commissions that you make, another thing that fluctuates really, really wildly, but you can have like 1% commission through a retailer. And I've seen up to like 15%, 20%, 25%. Those are definitely much more rare. 20 to 25% is definitely much more rare. But sometimes these retailers will have promotions for influencers. Like for Memorial Day weekend, you guys are going to earn up to like a 25% commission, but just like on those 3 days, and then it goes back to the regular, 5, 8, 6% commission. So that's generally when you'll see like influencers do like a big push on Instagram. If you sense like, wow, I'm seeing a lot of like push for like Walmart or Target or something, that's generally probably what's happening. I'm trying to think of what else I can tell you. So you get a percentage of the sale. So let's say I talk about a powder. You click on my link to the powder, and you're like, oh no, none of those colors work, or my color is out of stock. And you continue shopping in that one trip, and you end up ordering pajamas and a sleep mask. But because you used my link, I will still make a commission off of those sales. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the product that I mentioned or the product that I linked to. And in terms of like what sales I'm gonna make commission off of, definitely that sale, if you click on it and you go to the store and you make a purchase, like nothing has broken that chain, I will make commission off of that sale. And then depending on the retailer, there are cookie windows. So let's say Sephora has a 15-day cookie window. And let's say my viewer clicks on a Sephora link. They go to Sephora, they don't purchase anything. But in between then, they don't click on anyone else's link or whatever, my cookie is still there, and they go maybe the next day or 2 days, up to 15 days, they go back to Sephora and they purchase something, I will make a commission off of it. But again, during that time, they cannot have clicked on anyone else's. So there's also this cookie window situation that retailers will use to kind of entice influencers to talk about them or to talk about sales that they're having or whatever. They'll say like, our cookie window is now like 30 days because it gives the influencer a greater chance of making a commission. And then there's like affiliate codes and things like that. It's just another way for the influencer to make commission. It's either a link, it's a code that you put in, whatever it is, the end result is that the influencer or whoever brought you there, whoever's code or link that you use is going to make them money. So that's like big picture view of affiliate links, how they work. And if you're someone looking to get into YouTube, I highly recommend getting some consistent content up there, whether it's a blog, YouTube channel, Instagram feed, whatever it is, and then applying to reward style and magic links. Again, those are the two biggest, and they work a little bit differently, but they're kind of the same idea. Magic links will pay you out once a month on the first of the month, and reward style pays you out every 2 weeks, and share sale pays you out once a month on the 20th of every month. So every company works a little bit differently. It takes a while also to kind of generate your first payout from any of these companies, because let's say someone returns something, that commission will come out of your total commission payout. So if someone purchases this powder, but they don't like it and they return it, I'll see like, yay, I made a commission off of that. And then like a month later, I'll see like sale return and, a negative. And I've heard that the return rate is somewhere between, I think it's around like 10 to 15%. So if you're like looking at your total commission payout, and it's pretty much a running tally, like on both of these sites you can go on. Magic Links, I believe, updates theirs like just once a day. So if you go on first thing in the morning, you'll see it either change or not change. Sometimes it goes down. Reward Style updates it like a couple times during the day. And so you'll see this running tally. So as the month progresses, you can get a pretty decent idea of what's going to be coming through. Oh, but what I was saying before was sometimes it takes a while to get your first payout because all these things, have to happen. There's like a return window for a lot of places. They want to make sure that window closes before they pay you out. So let's say Sephora, it's like a 60-day return window, something like that. So if someone buys something on day one, and you make, your $5 commission off of that, and they don't return it after 60 days, Sephora will be like, oh, okay, we can release these funds. And then they pay Reward Style, and then Reward Style pays you. So it can take a while because there's a lot of steps. Again, another reason to just start, because everything takes longer than you think. That is just a general life lesson. Everything takes longer than you think. So yeah, you definitely want to get started. You definitely want to start posting your content. You definitely want to be consistent. You basically want to show these companies that you're serious. So yeah, I think that's it on affiliate links. And for me, they make up probably, I want to say 50% of my income. It was probably a little bit more before I started taking sponsorships, because that's been like a recent change for me. But yeah, I want to say right now about 50, maybe a little bit more. I'll say 60% of my income is off of affiliate links. So let's talk about sponsorships. I know sponsorships can be a very touchy subject, especially in the beauty community. I feel like in a lot of the other communities on YouTube, like gamers or YouTube gurus or photography, any of these other gurus, they do sponsorships all the time, and I never ever see any backlash. So I do find it very interesting that in the beauty world, it's sometimes frowned upon, but I digress. So sponsorships. I just started taking on sponsorships. I didn't do sponsorships before for no other reason than I couldn't kind of like get my mind into it. I had a full-time job. I was doing YouTube on the side and getting up as many videos as possible. For me to kind of like layer in talking to someone else, timing things, it was just too much for me to handle. I was like, no, I'm just doing YouTube. It was a side hustle at that point, and I thought, it's just the last thing I want to do is kind of go back and forth with someone, wait for product, test it. And I thought, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for it. My schedule's not ready for it. And so I didn't do any sponsorships for a while. Not like a lot were knocking down my door, just by the way. So I started doing sponsorships just last year, just less than a year ago, when I started doing YouTube full time. And the sponsorships that you take, the sponsorships that you want to do is fully up to you. It's how you want to run your channel. I only want to do sponsorships, obviously, with companies that I know and I love, that I've had personal experience with, not business, but personal experience with, like Sephora. I just did a Sephora sponsored video, and I've been shopping at Sephora for like a gazillion years now. I have always had, good experience at Sephora. No retailer is perfect, but I really like Sephora. I enjoy working with them. So when they approached me, I was like, yeah, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Obviously, there are companies that have approached me that I'm not so sure about. Either I've never used them before, purchased from them before, had any experience with their products. And that is something that takes a little bit longer. It's like, well, you have to send me something from your company. I need to experience it. I need to use it or wear it, whatever it is. And if I like it, and then it's like, okay, we can progress with this conversation. So it really depends on you, how you want to run your channel, who you partner with, how often you want to do it, and what kind of sponsorships you want to do. Like for me personally, I'm only comfortable with doing integrated videos. And an integrated sponsored video is when you mention the product for a couple minutes, whatever it is, but it's not the entire video. That to me ends up feeling like a commercial. And at the moment, I'm not comfortable with that. Never say never. That is definitely a motto I live by. Never say never, because if one of my all-time favorite brands came to me and they said, we would love you to do like an entire video on this collection, something I would probably do anyway, then yeah, I would probably say yes to that. But at the moment, I have not been approached with any opportunities to do a sponsored dedicated video. I just haven't had the opportunity. So for the moment, I'm only comfortable doing integrated videos. I just recently got a manager, and this is literally over the past 2 months. And for me, the number one reason why I got a manager is I really don't like the back and forth email. The this and the that and the how about this and then negotiating your rate and all of that business. So essentially, my priority in getting a manager was someone to handle all of that. If you don't mind doing that, then you may not need a manager. I'm also hoping that this manager will be able to put me in contact with companies that I haven't been able to get the attention from for whatever reason. I do hope that my manager will be able to make a connection there as well, which would be great. So in terms of your rate, again, the offers that you get will vary widely, like really, really widely. And as someone starting out, it is very, very difficult to know your worth. There's something called Social Blue Book out there, which I feel like is like a very hazy approximation. But the other reason why I enjoy working with Reward Style and Magic Links is that they make you an offer and you can ask if there's any wiggle room, ask for a little bit more, but you'll pretty much get a sense, you know, with the offers that come through, you'll pretty much get a sense of what your market rate is. Of course, there's always going to be the companies that want to lowball you, that don't want to pay out, but I do feel like you can get a very good sense of your rate through those companies. My manager and her company, they've also given me a very good idea as to what I can ask for and things like that. So that has been incredibly helpful. And that's when, you know, when I was talking about like YouTube and AdSense and Google AdSense, and the only thing that matters is views basically, and your subscriber count really has no impact on your YouTube AdSense money. Where your subscriber count really comes into effect is when you are negotiating for sponsorships, because that's one of the metrics that these companies look at. If you have a huge audience, they'll take that into account. Or if you have a smaller subscriber count, but you get a ton of views, they're definitely going to take that into account as well. Some companies look at a lot more numbers than others. Some other companies, I feel like, only look at subscriber numbers. It really depends on like their marketing strategy. What's interesting is this influencer marketing world is still relatively new, and I still feel like people are still feeling it out. And for you aspiring YouTubers out there, just don't sell yourself short. What we can do for these companies is a huge service. If you can only imagine how much money it takes for these companies to have like a 1-page print ad in Vogue, I mean, your eyes would bleed. Just the photography alone, the ad space, the Photoshop editing of it. I mean, there's so much time and effort that goes into traditional marketing that with influencer marketing, I still think these companies are like robbing us blind. But I think the influencer voice is much louder and much stronger than traditional marketing for all of these companies. And just don't forget that when you're negotiating. Of course, if it's like a company that you just want to start a relationship with, you know, it really kind of doesn't matter. Like you just love them so much and you just want to work with them, then go for it. Like each situation is going to be unique. And you just want to remember that you and your channel and your brand is a business, and you want to make the right decisions for your business. You really don't want to get too emotional or too insecure about it. Like, oh, maybe I'm never ever going to get another sponsorship opportunity ever again. I'm just going to take it no matter what it is. Don't think that. You will definitely get more opportunities. There's plenty of opportunities out there. Just continue doing what you do and companies will see that. The sponsorships will come, but like just stay true to your brand and your business. So at the moment for me, sponsorships really make up a very small portion of my overall income because I'm just kind of getting started with them. I'm still kind of testing out the waters and figuring out who I want to work with, who I don't want to work with. Definitely go with your gut. You're going to know what feels right and what doesn't feel right. You'll know. That little voice inside you, your stomach turns a little bit, you will know. So I've covered AdSense, I've covered affiliate links, I've covered sponsorships. For me personally, those are the only 3 ways that I am making money off of my YouTube channel, my beauty content. I do have a blog, which is very inactive, unfortunately, but I do throw affiliate links in there. I don't think I've made any money off of those affiliate links because, again, my blog is not that active, but that is another way that you can think about utilizing affiliate links. If you do have a blog, get that up and running. You can maybe start a blog and kind of warm up to the idea of working independently, of just talking about beauty or whatever it is, and then parlay that into a YouTube channel. You can always kind of back into it that way. That's it. But I just want to repeat that I make about 25% of my income off of AdSense. I make about 60% of my income off of affiliate links, and I make about 15% of my income off of sponsorships at the moment. And I am in total making more doing YouTube than I have any other job that I've ever had. And I have worked in corporate America, I've worked in technology, I've worked at law firms. So YouTube is a very, very viable full-time career for you. I have been doing this now, full-time, as I mentioned, for about a year now, but I'm trying to think. The very first video I posted was in May of 2016. So we're basically at my 4-year mark. So that's my personal journey. It's taken about 4 years to get to the point where I feel comfortable doing this full-time. Like I said, when I started doing this full-time, I left my job unexpectedly and definitely was not comfortable at that point. But I'm so happy that I did. And for any of you out there, you know, thinking about starting a YouTube channel, can I do this full time? Is it possible? It's possible. It's possible. And I'll say this again, if I can do it, you guys can definitely do it. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.